Hi everybody, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Today we're talking kohlrabi. Now this is in response to your information that you provided to me on what you would like to hear about. So kohlrabi is where I'm starting, and I was actually able to find some at my grocery store, and I am in a small area, but I was able to find some. This is 3 bulbs here with the leaves attached. I'm quite tickled with them and anxious to get started into them. Now, this information that I'm going to provide today, you don't need to worry about writing down all over the place because I will have this in the description box below, and I'll also have all this on my blog, judiclee.com. So just listen and you can highlight everything and copy it and paste it into a Word document later on, okay? Make life easy for you. What is this thing? Okay, kohlrabi is called in Germany, it's called a cabbage-turnip. It's a member of the cruciferous family. Forgive me, I do have to have some notes on this one. It's a member of the cruciferous family, so think of it as being a cousin to broccoli and cabbage and cauliflower and those kinds of vegetables that we are all familiar with, okay? It comes in 2 varieties. One is with a green bulb, which is what we've got here, and another one's with a purple bulb. However, inside the flesh is the same. It tastes the same and it looks the same. So it really doesn't matter which variety you pick up. It's going to be basically the same kind of a vegetable. And they do have many times the leaves attached to them like mine do. The leaves, the bulbs are all edible. The only thing we need to remember is to not only wash them well, but to peel the bulbs. That's going to be an important thing because they're very tough. The peels are very tough. So everything is edible, and it can be eaten raw or cooked. And I'll get more into that in just a little bit. Now for some nutrition tidbits. These things are very low in calories, only 36 calories in 1 cup. And they're high in fiber, potassium, vitamin C, some B vitamins. It also has some calcium in there and a little protein as well. So these are good for you in many, many ways. How to choose them? We want to choose the smaller variety, 3 to 4 inches in diameter, and I actually took a tape measure to these, not at the store, but when I got them home. These look very large, but they're actually between 3 and 4 inches in diameter. There's 3 bulbs here as well, okay, 3 of them. And they do fit within that criteria. Why are we concerned with that? The smaller ones are more tender and have a sweeter flavor, and from what I have read, the smaller ones taste more like broccoli, whereas the larger ones have more of a radish-like flavor, and they can be a little more on the woody side. So the smaller ones would be ones that you might prefer to pick up. How is this usually eaten? Like I mentioned earlier, everything can be eaten raw or cooked. You can eat the greens raw, cut them up and add them into a salad, or you can cook them like you would any other deep green leafy vegetable like kale or spinach. And the bulbs are also raw. You could cut those up into slivers and dip them in your favorite dressing or dip, have them as a snack, or you can cook them in a whole variety of ways. Any way that you can think of cooking broccoli or cabbage, you can do with the kohlrabi. Fresh versus frozen versus canned. I have only seen these available in fresh varieties. However, you can freeze them, and I'll get into that in a little bit. So if a bunch like this, and this is how they came for me, if that's too much for us to eat, then I may opt to freeze a little bit of it, and it's easy to do, and I'll tell you how to do that in a little bit. So now, as far as preparation, the first thing you want to do is cut off the stems and the leaves and treat them as you would any other deep leafy green vegetable like kale. And wash them, cut them up, put them in a salad, or saute them stir fry them, steam them, however you prefer to have a deep leafy vegetable, you can do that. And I will be demonstrating how I'm going to cook these, but not in this video because of the interest of time. I don't want this to drag on forever. So I will be doing separate videos on cooking the kohlrabi and the greens. Okay, so once you remove the bulb from the stems and the peels, you do want to use the leaves and the stems relatively quickly after you buy them. You see mine are looking a little bit on the wilty kind of side, and I just bought these yesterday. So I am going to cook them today because it's advised that we use them as early as we can after we buy them. However, the bulbs, once the stems and the leaves are removed, you can wash those bulbs and wrap them up tightly and put them in the refrigerator, and they will keep for anywhere from 1 to 3 weeks. So you have some leeway there where you don't have to use it all up right away. And again, they can be used any way that you can think of that you might cook broccoli or cabbage as well. Soups, stews, casseroles, you could take the bulb and cut it up and cook it well and mash it with potatoes. It can be roasted, which is one way I'm going to try. Steam them as well, or boil them, but steaming them will help to preserve the nutrients in them. Now, how can we preserve these? Again, the leaves need to be used as quickly as possible. If you don't want to use the leaves right away, I would suggest that you take them off and you freeze them. And now you don't just put them in a bag and throw them in the freezer. They need to be blanched. Why? Because it stops the enzyme activity in them that would cause them to age while they're in the freezer. So let's say you want to preserve the leaves and the stems. Cut them off, wash them well, cut them into small bite-sized pieces or whatever pieces you want them to be in, and then blanch them for probably a minute, 2 minutes at the very most. And then take them out of the boiling water, immediately put them in an ice water bath and allow them to cool completely, and then drain them well. And once they're drained completely, then you can pack them into freezer bags, and then it will be like any frozen vegetable. It will keep for 8 to 10 months or so. And then you can use them any way you would kale or collard greens or turnip greens, something like that, or spinach. The bulbs can also be preserved beyond the refrigerator life if you want to do that. Again, you would peel them, wash them and peel them, cut them into chunks and or slices or cubes, something like that, and you would blanch them basically like you would the leaves, but you would blanch them a little longer, probably about 3 minutes or so. Do the same thing, drain them, put them in an ice water bath, let them cool completely, drain them from there, pack them into freezer bags, label them, and they will keep well in the freezer for 8 to 10 months. So you can preserve these if you don't feel you can use this whole bunch at one time. That's a real advantage here. Now, what herbs and spices go well with kohlrabi? Think in terms of broccoli and what you like with broccoli or what you like with cabbage. They're all in the same family. And if you wind up with smaller bulbs, they're going to taste similar to broccoli, okay? Or similar to a sweet turnip, somewhere in there. So whatever you like with your broccoli or cabbage, chances are you will like it with your kohlrabi. And according to resources that I found, garlic, onions, parsley, caraway, curry, tarragon, thyme, allspice, basil, cilantro, mustard, dill, rosemary, turmeric, marjoram, all go well with kohlrabi. Now, what foods pair up well with them? Dairy pairs well with them, milks and cheeses of various sorts, Parmesan cheese in particular. Just think in terms of how you like broccoli. A lot of people put a cheese sauce on their broccoli. You could try that with the kohlrabi as well. Also mushrooms go well with it, carrots, fennel, celery root, potatoes, spinach, turnips. Remember, this is similar to a turnip. Corn, bean sprouts, lemons, apples, if you put it in a slaw, leeks and onions and celery. And then on the savory side, sesame oil, bacon, chicken, seafood, beef would go well with it, quinoa and rice as well. So you can see these will pair up with a lot of different foods. It's not something so foreign that you wouldn't know what to do with it. Think in terms of what you like with your broccoli or your cabbage. Chances are you're going to like it with this as well. Now in the description box below, I also have a couple links that have some recipes on them that I thought were ones that you would appreciate. And so you can try those links out. There are other resources as well online where you can find recipes for these. And I will be demonstrating how I'm going to cook these. I'm going to taste them for you and give you my taste perception of what they're like. But at any rate, we'll stop here with this video and I'll do the cooking separately. I sure hope this helps to answer your questions. If there's anything else that I can address in these Vegetable 101 series videos, let me know. I'll be glad to tweak it any way you need me to. This is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. I hope this helps. Have a great day.